So they had to cut a bit, for the baby to come out. So at that point, I was so tired. And then he came out, and he wasn't crying. So I was like, okay, is he dead? My name is Gladys Chelimo, and this is my Burn in the Oven story. So this goes back to way in late 2016 to 2017. That's when I had my firstborn. His name is Emmanuel. I like to call him Manu. So, okay, for me it didn't come as a surprise. I can't say it was an oops baby. No. I kind of expected it. So when I did the test, I confirmed. And it was not an oops baby, so it was not really a surprise. So first it was the same year I graduated. I graduated in 2016. So actually by the time I was graduating, I had just learned I'm expecting. So for my partner, he was like, okay, it's okay. And then after some time, he's like, no, I'm not ready for this. So it was like, like we were not on the same page. One day he's okay with it. One day he's like, no, I think you should terminate the pregnancy. So I was like, no, since we are already here, I'm just ready to move forward with this. Whether you are ready or not, I can do this on my own by this. So that's what I keep telling him. So he brought up the issue of terminating like 3 times. Then I was like, no, you can't keep telling me this. If you are not ready for this, we can part ways as early as this. So then he stopped talking about it. So during graduation, I was like, now how do I tell my parents? So my partner was there, my parents were there. We did not even talk much. They didn't even ask me who this is. I think they assumed this is just a friend. But he was the only other person apart from my family who was there during my graduation. So I didn't tell my parents at that time. So after graduation, like there's this, so kulikuwa na kabash at home. So my younger brother had also completed class 8 and he had passed. He had over 400 marks. So there was this like kabash at home. So everyone is there. They're like, you did a good job. You have completed school. You have not disappointed us. You have not come back with this and this. And at the back of my mind, I was like, you guys don't know. You guys don't know I'm expecting. So I didn't tell them. I remember one of my aunts was giving a speech. She was like, you have done a good job. You've come home. You've not disappointed us. I remember crying when I thought, I think for them, maybe they thought I was happy or something. But at the back of my mind, I was like, you guys don't know I'm expecting. Like, so I think when I was like 3 months, I remember I texted my mom. I didn't even call her. So I texted her. I told her I'm pregnant. This is this and this. And then I switched off my phone. The way what we normally do when you send a risky text, we switch off. So after some time, I remember I was with my friend. I went to see my friend, and I told her, by the way, I'm expecting, and I don't know how to tell my mom. It's now 3 months. I don't know how to tell her. So she was like, just tell her, just call her. You know, she's still your mom, in as much as maybe she'll be disappointed. Just tell her. So I sent her a message, and then when I switched my phone back on, I got she had tried to call me. So then we talked, and she told me, okay, so you're expecting. So what next? So I just told her I wanted to let you know. Yeah, so ndio ukae ukijua. So obviously her first question was like, so what plans does this guy have? Is he going to come home? So I told her, for now, I can't tell you that. Maybe after some time, I'll tell you. Yeah, so maybe the first trimester, it was a bit hectic. The morning sickness was crazy. Then like when I have to go to work, even having breakfast was a problem. Even brushing my teeth, like the nausea was crazy. Yeah, but the morning sickness was a bit crazy, and these cravings like maembe, chili, and stuff like lemons, just to try and get rid of the nausea. I think I started clinic in the I think the third month. Yeah, so I did all the clinics. I attended all the clinics. I didn't miss any. And after the first trimester, the second trimester was a bit, it was okay. So the morning sickness, yeah, it wasn't that much, or it wasn't even there. So yeah, and like for the cravings, or like things I didn't like, the first, like beef, I couldn't stand beef. I couldn't even put it in my mouth. Like I would vomit, and throughout the whole pregnancy I didn't have beef. So like, but other things, so like I used to eat like not like things like omena, mboga za kienyeji like saga, and I used to take milk a lot, like fresh milk. Yeah, so that's what I did take mostly, and white meat, but beef I couldn't really stand. Yeah, and I can say that I didn't have like a lot of changes, like physical. Like I didn't even have to change my wardrobe all through. Like all my clothes fit. Like my pregnancy was a very small one. I remember even when I was going for leave, like people were asking, where is Gladys going? You mean she's even, because when I used to wear a trench coat or a baggy jacket or something, like you couldn't even notice. So when I was going on leave, it was like, where is Gladys going? You mean she's already going on leave? Yeah, so I can say it was a bit smooth, though. Yeah, I like I didn't get sick or something. I attended all my clinics. At around 6 months, I think I went for an ultrasound. Yeah, and everything was okay with my baby. And yeah, from then I knew I was going to have a boy. So I was kind of prepared. Though even before the ultrasound, like even people around me were telling me, you're going to have a boy, you're going to have a boy. Yeah, so all through it was smooth. Like I didn't get sick or something. Yeah, but now it was, so you got to 38 weeks, 39, so you are ready. You know, you're always told the baby can come either 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after. So from 2 weeks before, I was ready. I had everything. I had gotten everything for the baby. I packed as early as like yeah, even 2 weeks before. So it got to 38 weeks, nothing. 39, nothing. 40, ha. So I'm asking now the 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. Now I started getting worried. So at almost 41 weeks, so I'm like, no, this is not right. So at 41, yeah, the baby is still kicking, but no labor, nothing. It was like something falls just for a few minutes and then that's it. So I was like, no, this doesn't seem right. So I just packed my bags and I went to the hospital. I was with my sister. Yeah, so we just went there. And they're like, so this nurses, they tell me, msichana, uko sure? Umekuja kufanya nini? Because like my pregnancy was a very small one. So like, siku zako zimefika, ibu kadi yako ya clinic. Did you do this? Did you do this? And then I think something else. But I think in 2017 there was a strike for the public hospitals. So yeah, I had to go to like a private hospital. It's a mission hospital. Yeah. So I went there. Yeah. I booked myself in. So I did all that with my sister. I'm walking around comfortably. I'm not feeling anything. There's no pain. There's no labor. Yeah, so I got everything. So it was around midday when I was finally admitted in the labor ward. So I'm just there on my phone, like there's nothing. I see people are in labor and I'm like, so this is what is waiting for me. Others are pulling their hair, people are doing what? Walking around, I'm like, okay. So I'm just still there on my phone. So now because there was no labor, I had to be induced, but that was around 1 p.m. So I waited 1, 2, 3, still nothing, until around in the evening, at around 6:30. Now that's when the labor started. All along I was just there in bed, on my phone, on WhatsApp, talking to people. I'm like, by then I'm in hospital. I've been admitted in the labor room, so I'm just waiting. So I'm just there chatting. It's like, people are like, are you sure you are there? I'm like, yeah. So from 1 to until 6, I didn't feel anything, so I was just there. So when you're there, just like, you just wait. You will know when it's so when it started at around 7. So now it was like, now you start taking off your sweater. I even had socks on. I removed my socks. Like now, now this has started. And now I think, I don't know. It as much as when I went there and I was telling myself, I'm ready for this. It can't be that bad. When it came, I labored for like up to, I gave birth at 5 a.m. So this is from 7 p.m. I'm there. Now when you start, you can't even lie down. You can't even sit. Like you go there, you want to sit now. You want to bend. It's like you're kneeling. You're just all over the place. So for me, I felt it was like, so what I even tell myself, I think if I have another baby, I don't think I'll go I'll do the natural birth. I'll just go for a CS, because I think what I experienced was, it was a lot of pain. And then you are in pain, you've been there 7, 8, 9, you go, they check, it's just 2 centimeters, you're told go back, so you're just there. I remember it reached a point, it's like now I was talking to my baby and I was like, now, kuja tu, I think I've suffered. Kuja tu, like the pain was too much. I think I was getting tired. And then I think my water didn't break. I think they had to force it. Yeah, so after all that, at 5 a.m., now finally they told me, yeah, the baby is here now, like you have dilated enough. So I go from the labor room, you switch to the delivery room, and people are screaming, and Yeah, so I did. I tried to push. I was so tired. I was exhausted. Now I tell you, keep pushing, and they had to. I think it reached some point I was too tired. The baby is not coming out, and so they had to cut a bit, yeah, for the baby to come out. So at that point I was so tired, and then he came out, and he wasn't crying. So I was like, okay, is he dead? So I just looked at him. They were holding him up, and I'm like, okay, is he dead? He's not crying. So I think he was unconscious. So they were trying to like pump the oxygen with a small thing. They do this, that is not working. They had to bring another, like a big machine now. Yeah, so when I'm here, they are doing the whole process, like removing everything. I'm just watching, like he was at the other corner, so I'm just watching what they are doing, but like my mind is not even on what these nurses are doing. Like my mind is just there. And by the time I was going into delivery, like I hadn't even settled for a name. But now with all that, like he's here now, he's not crying, they're like trying to resuscitate him. I was like, now this is Emmanuel. Like God, just take control. Like, yeah, so I'm just there. He's being resuscitated and this and this. Then he's taken to the like nursery, the newborn unit. Yeah, so when I'm done, I get cleaned. I went to see him. So, and for some reason, I didn't even cry. Like, I think I was in shock. Like, seeing all that, I thought at first he was dead. And then he's taken to the nursery, the newborn unit. So they call in a pediatrician. So he comes and talks to me. So he says, now you see what has happened. Because he didn't cry, it's because so he's explaining to me what is going to happen, like from then to, yeah. So at that time, I'm just listening to him, like I don't know how to react. I didn't even cry, I didn't even do anything. So he just told me, now that your boy did not cry, it means there wasn't, he'll be here for some time, and you'll look after him. So he told me, you need first to call his dad. I need to talk to you. So he didn't talk to me at that time. Yeah, so I just went, I checked on the baby, yeah, and then he told me to call the dad. So he said, there's something I need to tell both of you. Like, you know that now that your baby did not cry, this is what is going to happen. Like there wasn't enough oxygen to the brain at that time. So there was brain damage. So I'm like, okay, brain damage, what next? Yeah, so it's like, so he'll have a problem like achieving his milestones, like he'll not grow up like other babies, and blah, blah, blah. You might have to raise him as a special kid. So at that point, like, it's like, okay, it doesn't hit me like it's. I didn't know how to react. I didn't cry. I didn't do anything. So like that's basically where we started our journey. So we were in the newborn unit. So you go there after every 3 hours, you go feed. But then later I came to, I think it had affected me more than I thought it had. Because first when we were there, so now he doesn't know how to breastfeed at that point. So now you have to express milk and then you feed him using a tube. And I can say those moments in the newborn units are the scariest, because every 3 hours, every time you go back there to feed, like you don't know what to expect. because you go there are babies, and then for those machines, the incubators, like at some point you share, so your baby is lying facing this other side, the other baby is lying facing the other side. So we at some point, like in the next feed, you go there, you find that the baby in the next incubator, or the one who was sharing with your baby, is dead now. And it's like, it just is dead, take it away. When you go to the next feed, you find there's another baby there. So it's like, you're always, it's like, I don't know, like you don't know what to expect. Is it my baby next? Is it? So we were there for around 10 days in the newborn unit. So I was talking first about like expressing the milk. So you try to express the first, there's nothing. The nurses just tell you, you should do it. You know, your baby has to feed and this and this. Yeah, so so that was a problem, but but I think at that point it's not, because they take little, they monitor how they are digesting or something. At some point you are told, no, your baby is not feeding properly, it seems there's a problem, so you stop feeding them. And now, like, there are specific times you go to visit the baby, other times you just watch through the window. Remember, they have this glass window. So you just go there, you feed. So we were there for like 10 days. And I never cried. I didn't even know how to react. So my friends, my colleague from work came to visit me. Like, you mean why are you this calm? If it was me, I don't even know or what I would be doing. Maybe I would be crying. I don't know if I can handle this. So after some time, before the end of that 10 days, so you're told to try and breastfeed and see. So after like the 12 days, now we moved from the newborn unit. At least that was a relief to the, now you go to the general ward where you have, not even the general ward, now the maternity ward. Yeah, so we were there for like a few more days, like try to breastfeed and see how it's going. So now when I was going home, now when you were discharged, at least I felt a relief, like just away from the hospital environment. Because even for me, I always have a problem with going to hospital. Even when I'm sick, like it's very rare for me to go to the hospital. So at least now I got to go home. So now that's when like it hit me. Now I am a first-time mom. I'm going to be a special needs mom. Like, how do I handle all this? And then I was alone. It was just like me and the baby daddy. Like no one else around. So it was, yeah. And then I told you he didn't cry. So that did not happen like for the next, like Manu started crying at around 2 months. So before these 2 months, it was like, I can't sleep at night, like properly. I'm like, what if I sleep, maybe I suffocate him, maybe nimemfunika sana. So I used to wake up, like check on him, is he still okay? Sometimes he's sleeping a lot. Like, like it was like everything, being a first-time mom and still now you have to handle all this. So I keep checking on him. Is he okay? Is he sleeping? Has he overslept? Like, it's like, nika nimelala, nimemlalia. So I think I was so alert. all the time. And then like noise, even my phone, up to now I still keep my phone on silent, even all the time, like in the house. It's like the phone is ringing, no, this is a lot of noise, the TV is too loud, this and this and this, like just silence. And then now came the feeding. When we got home now, like the milk dried completely, like there is nothing. You're told, it's njahe, sijui soup from fish, this and this and this. For now I did all that, but now, you see, now he used to cry a lot. He cries in the evening. We used to sleep at around 3 a.m. So I was like, no, at around 3 months. So now I was like, I can't keep doing this. So my friend, I had a friend, so she came and she was like, you should start feeding your baby. You should give him porridge. I was like, no, but he's too young. She told me, you can't keep living like this. Just try and feed him and see. And well, the first day I gave him porridge, I remember she got me some, I think there's rice flour. So that's what I use. Like, no, it's not like the normal, like maize flour, you have to sieve and, no, so that was less, like you just prepare and you feed. So for the first time in months, I got to sleep early, like at around 10. He slept early at around 7. So now I discovered this is the trick. Yeah, so that's what helped. And yeah, we kept going. We did all the clinics, like all the injections. And then now we were told we are supposed to start occupational therapy. So at 3 months, we started going for these therapies. So every time we go, we are told, no, he's having delayed milestones. So we went for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Like, he has not been able to do anything. He cannot see it, he's not crawling. Like, basically, he's not doing everything that kids at his age are doing at that time. So then there was a time went to see the doctor and he said, I think your child is blind. Yes, like they can't see. And I'm like, but he reacts to things around him, but now he was telling me. So I just dismissed it. I remember we were even referred to Kikuyu. I think they specialize in that. Yeah, so we were still given like the same feedback. Like, he doesn't see. Are you sure when you're at home, is he like, can he see? But now, for me, I think sometimes it's good to just ignore some things, because I knew, although he was not following, like when you always do, you try to move your hand across his face, he doesn't follow. But like when you snap your fingers or when you try, like he blinks. So for me, I knew he can see. So you're told, you need to do an MRI and see maybe if there's a problem. So that was at around 8 months. So I didn't do it immediately, so I just ignored it. I think I later did it when he was around 1 and something years. Yeah, so it's been like continuous therapies. So you go for therapy, you're told he has delayed milestones. So until at around, I think 2 years, we went to Nakuru. And now that's when the doctor told me, have you ever been told about something called cerebral palsy? I was like, no. I was just told, like, your baby has delayed milestones. So he was like, now, your baby has cerebral palsy. And yeah, so now they start asking you questions about now pregnancy. Did you have, like, were you sick? Were you indeed? Yeah, so his was caused by the delayed labor. Yeah, the prolonged labor. Yeah, so that's now I knew. So this is called cerebral palsy. Yeah, so we kept going for therapies. Yeah, we still go. He's turning 5 in August. So yeah, so though I say at we were told at birth what to expect, it's normally hard to to accept that this is what you're going to be doing for who knows, for how long, you don't know. So you're now Google, now I wanted to know more about it, so I read about it. Yeah, so the therapies, I kept going for therapy. Now at some point you're like, some people you started therapy with, but then you see their kids have achieved these milestones, they're walking, they're now going to school. You're like, should I continue going? Should I stop? Yeah, but I think we've continued doing it. And for me, I think the best thing I did was just to accept. And I don't hate my kid. I don't. So I just accept. I do the therapies. I do everything. I don't see it as, though sometimes it's hard, but then when you go there, you see other kids. You're like, okay. And I've told myself to be patient, because for the milestones, you're told maybe at some point they'll be able to talk, maybe they'll be able to walk, they'll be able to sit on their own. But now it's not something that it's universal. Each one of them, although it's not like malaria. If you have malaria, you take anti-malaria and you get well. So what it has helped me is that I know that it is unique for every kid with cerebral palsy, though it's cerebral palsy, but every kid is different. So I try not to compare him with other kids. Maybe those we started therapy with, those we go to therapy with. Yeah, but now sometimes there are those moments you just see kids who are born at the same time. There's this mom, we became friends from that day. Practically, it's like our kids are twins, because she was in the next bed and I was in this bed. So our kids were born 1 minute apart, and we are still in touch up to date. So we talk. He's like, my son is starting school. Yeah, so there are those moments you're like, what if my kid was like these other kids? By now, maybe he'll be starting school. Maybe he would have done this and this and this. Yeah, so sometimes there are those moments, but then now I've learned to accept how things are and just and see how it goes. I don't know when or if he will achieve any milestones, but I've told myself I want to be ready for anything. Because when he was around 1 year, 2 years, if you are to tell me that you should get your kid a wheelchair, at that time I'll be like, no, let me give him some time. Yeah, but now, you see he's 5 years. So if I'm told now to get him a wheelchair, I would do that. So I think it's just a process. Yeah, I think we've learned to live one day at a time. I don't hide him. I go to church with him. There's always these people are staring, people are asking questions. They're like, mbona unabeba mtoto mkubwa? Si umweke chini atembea. So you just tell them, no, haezi tembea, and that's it. So people always have questions. There's these stares. Yeah, but I don't hide him. I go to church with him. I go to the shop. I do everything. I take him for a haircut. We do photo shoots with him. I do everything that I would have done if he was walking on his own, or maybe if he was normal. Let me use normal in quotes. Yeah. So it's like, someone once told me that, why do you buy him shoes and he doesn't walk? So I'm like, is he supposed to walk around without shoes, with only socks on? And he's now a big boy. So I just do everything for him. I buy him good clothes. Yeah, so I've learned to like live one day at a time, see what tomorrow brings. And it doesn't, like, I don't know, I can't say, yeah, so I've told myself just to live one day at a time and see how everything goes. Yeah, so I think that's practically everything up to where we are at now. So he's turning 5 years in August, and no, I still have, there are questions about taking him to school, but there's still that, if I take him to school, will they take care of him the way I'm taking care of him? And then most schools, maybe, one, they are expensive, and then maybe they are not around like where you stay. So you have to take them to boarding school. So I'm like, I still need him to give him some time, maybe 2 years, 1 year, and see. Yeah, so that's where we are now. Yeah, so I am a special needs mom. Yeah, and we are turning 5 in August. Yeah, and we keep going. I think what I came to learn later, or now what people are telling me after I had one, I was already like at 41 weeks. So it was way past time. I should not have been in labor for that long. They should have advised me maybe to go for CS, and that would have been better, because you see, I was induced at around 1, and I still didn't get into labor until late at 7. Then I still had that labor up to 5 a.m. So what they should have done, they should have advised me, or for CS, because I didn't know. Being a first-time mom, or I didn't know what was supposed to happen in such an instant. For doctors, and most people don't tell you. You just give birth, you take your baby home. Now then, after some time, maybe at 5 months or 6 months, because when I've interacted with parents, or when you hear some stories, they're like, mi nilitoka tu hosi nikaenda home, like for me they told me on day 1. I don't know, maybe because it was a private hospital, or maybe the doctor was good. But most parents, like also mostly from like public hospitals, they are not told what to expect. So it's like you go home, you are there at 5 months, at 6 months, like mtu anasema mtoto hajekaa, mtoto hajefanya hivi. And then there's this thing people keep telling you, like, kids are not the same, kids are different, just give him time. So what I would say to parents or moms, both expecting or those who have just given birth, it's okay to be paranoid. As much as people say you are paranoid, you are overreacting, you are doing this, it's okay, because at the end of the day, it's your baby. People say kids are different, like, wangu alikaa na miezi 6, wangu alifanya hivi na this and this. It's okay. You disturb these doctors. You go to keep going there. Ask questions. Google if you have to. Although they say don't Google stuff. Yeah, but it's okay. Like, it's okay for people to say you're overreacting and stuff. But it's still good. Ask questions. Yeah. And also, like, for parents, special needs parents, most of them have a hard time with, like, acceptance. Like, you find someone, their kid is 2 years, 3 years, but for them, they're still like, no. So it's like, it's hard for them even to interact with their kids and talk to other people. Now when you talk to, or when you speak up, you realize, I'm not even the only one, because like at now I'm in groups, and then now when you hear other people's stories, you're like, so it is not that bad. So you have other people to talk to interact with, to share. At least you have the same experience. So one, it's okay to be paranoid or overreacting, ask questions, do this and this, and then talk to people. Yeah, at least it's good to feel that you are not alone. It makes it a bit easier, though it's never easy, but yeah, it makes it a bit easier. Don't hide them, because as they say, like our kids can feel like what is happening around them. So the society is already, there's a lot of stigma already in the society. So it should not start from you. Should not, that negative energy or whatever should not come from you, like you are the mom. Like you say, it's like they look up to us, like when you're unamwangalia, when you're feeding them. I think they can feel like if you if you meet my son with him, he's a very happy boy. He's always laughing, and you can tell when mom is around, because even my neighbors tell me, when you are around, we know. So yeah, and then I remember the first time, like I posted on Facebook. I used to just post maybe like selfies and like not like photos, maybe he's sitting down. So like the first time, like I spoke out and I explained like in a post. So like people are like, you mean your son is special? He doesn't even look like it. He just seems okay. And then I think it's just good to even let people around you know maybe what's happening. Because I think one thing, like people are always saying, ukiangalia Manu, huwezi jua. But there's this word people keep using, and I don't think it's okay. He looks normal. Like, it's not a good term. He's not abnormal. But I think it's just lack of a better word to use. So just speak out, let the people around you know. Yeah, I think it makes it easier, or like now when people look at you or they are around you, they'll not be asking these questions, wanajiuliza. Now at least they can ask you, and maybe don't get tired responding to people. Just explain to them what is happening, what happened, how you got there. Yeah. So I think it's good to speak up, even from the people around you, or just to, yeah. I remember my first post on Facebook was like I think I posted and like the reaction was overwhelming, and I couldn't even go through the comments. I was so emotional. But one thing is, like, people were surprised, because I think it was around 3 years. Yeah, that was two years ago. And what inspired me was there's this special needs mom. She stays in Mombasa. So she's the one who inspired me. She keeps posting about her son, like his whole journey, like everything that he's going through from time to time, just posting things to encourage parents with kids with the same condition. Yeah, so so you never know, you might inspire someone else to speak out. It would be really nice to have someone say, I saw Gladys do this and this, and it inspired me to also speak up. And it also helps, I think, with acceptance. By the time you get to speak up, it's like, in a way, now you've accepted what is going on, and it is a bit easier. Yeah. No, I don't have anything. Just keep going, and yeah, no one ever knows like what we all plan for. You say, now when I have my baby, I'll do this and this and this and this. Yeah, so whatever the outcome or whatever happens, just accept things as they come. And now you had planned for this and this and this. Now that this has happened, just go with the flow. Yeah. So going back to, I told you I was told my son was blind. So you know some nurses or some doctors, they're just blatant. They just tell you, hey, your son is blind, so just take him to Kikuyu. Yeah, so I went there. I was told they did some tests, and we were told, yeah, it's from what they had said, haoni. So for me, I think I just left that news at Kikuyu. So when I went home, I just kept, because I'm the one who stays with him. So I told myself, like, no, they're just saying this. From what I have seen, from how I'm interacting with him, he can see. So even as at now, he can see. He's not blind, yeah. So in as much as he might not be following, he's aware of everything around him. He watches cartoon, he watches TV. He's super excited when he's watching. So, like, he's not blind from what they were saying. And some things, it's just good to give it time, because I think we've been in the hospital like a couple of times. There was a time I was told, like, he needs to have surgery, like he's not feeding properly, like he's not swallowing. So you're told now he's supposed to have there's this feeding tube, it's called an NG tube, like it's inserted directly to the stomach. So now he doesn't, when that is done, he doesn't feed like orally. So like all his food is given through the tube. So I was telling myself, he normally feeds well, except when he's sick. Obviously, everyone, when you are sick, like maybe there's that, you don't have appetite, maybe you're vomiting. So I was just like, no, I'll not do this surgery first. Let me go home, see how it feels. And now, as at now, he doesn't have the tube. And he's not blind, as they say. So I think with time I've learned to, okay, I've been told this and this, but let me give it some time and see. Yeah. So he's not blind. Yeah. But then that was my burning the woman story.